sorry I'm so discombobulated at the moment. Alan, I was telling Wes that I've been working on my oil furnace, which has not been operating since we got back from Disney. So my electric bill is going to be through the fucking roof because it's just space heaters, and I'm like a space heater troll, just like walking through the house. This room's warm. Click clunk. Let's plug it in over here now.
Damn,
So yeah,
that sucks. So
yeah.
well, actually, there's another underlying thing here. So you have your heat's on, is what you're saying.
What do you mean?
Like, had you not have to fucking use your space heaters, you would have turned the heat on in the house at this point in time.
Yes, absolutely. Fuck you. It's 55 degrees outside.
Yep.
If I don't turn the heat on, I'm sorry. I look. My dad is an old man, and he accuses me of wasting energy and oil. So I'm a little sensitive about this.
Fair.
Yes.
Easy,
Hey, look,
easy.
I come from an oil furnace house as well, and so I get it because that shit ain't cheap.
Fucking PTSD from your childhood.
Right? That's
Tone it
fair.
back.
No, that's why I let him go because I was like, he's right. I feel it. I was perfectly.
I'm
fine.
sorry. I thought you were accusing me of being a bitch, and I'm just like, no. I'm a grown ass man. I make grown ass man money, and I'll pay to be warm in my goddamn house. Thank you very much.
that
I
is
saw the
fair.
look on his face, like, no. I'm with you.
Yeah. No, so I haven't had the discussion yet, and so my wife will just either hear this or probably not because she doesn't listen to us. She's so supportive. But I have a hoodie on, and as I was coming upstairs, I was like, I'm just gonna put a hoodie on. It's fucking cold up here, and like she's the one who's like, nah, we good. We don't need that heat. And I'm like, I'm getting old. These old bones is cold now. I need, I need fucking little shot of warmth. So we haven't turned it on yet, but I'm glad to know that somebody has, so that I can use it as ammunition against my wife.
Well, it's just that like it got down to like 63 degrees like overnight, and I'm like, man, I ain't waking up with hard nipples. That's not how this works. No sir.
My feet be cold, and I can't sleep in socks. That's not a thing I can do.
But according to Murr, because you were born, actually you're a Christmas child, and you were born in the winter, and your astrological sign surely points to you being a fan of the cold. Remember?
Well, I will say for 30,
Sad that you do, yeah.
33 years, that's probably right. In the last 3 or so years, though, I've become a chilly boy, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it, but it's the life I have to live now, and the cold gets to me a little quicker now than it used to.
Well, and in my defense, Wes, when the astrological signs were presented and all of this nonsense and hooey was written in books, most people didn't live past the ages we've lived to, so it would have been accurate up until a point.
They didn't
Thank
even
you very
live
much.
to winters. Like
See?
some of them just saw summers.
But
That's a good point.
my question to you guys, now listen, I am not HVAC certified, but I'm willing to tinker with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you break it open, it's really not that complicated. However,
Doesn't seem-
I have missed a couple of steps apparently, and it's hasn't quite fired up yet. I'm gonna keep tinkering. But what is the like? But Alan, you don't strike me as a tinker with that kind of shit kind of guy.
So here's the thing: I am a tinkerer by nature, but like I never had like my pops wasn't a handyman, so I didn't have like a guy who like helped usher me into like getting some tools and fucking doing some stuff. You know what I mean? It didn't happen naturally for me, but I do have a natural technical inclination to things. So I think, not even I think, more in the last probably like 5 or so years, I've started to accumulate more tools. And when like shit comes around, I'm like, I'm just gonna go do that shit. And then it's really an excuse to buy more tools, kind of. But like I enjoy that shit, and I get shit done. And my wife's like, "Oh, look at you," and I'm like, I'm not fucking dumb. I just never did it. I gotta teach myself how to fucking do it by
That's all it
myself.
is. Just don't be afraid. My philosophy is it's already broken. I can't break it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you
here
could
we are.
you could sabotage some things to a point where like, hey man, you shouldn't have fucked with that part. Like you were 500 in, now you're about 1,000 in. You
True.
started, you
I'm
started
st- but
peeling
I'm-
some layers back.
I'm still lower than the highball price of a HVAC technician that would
point.
come in. So, but I know the Fox household. Alan Fox. He got his hands dirty fairly often.
First of all, I wanted to add on to what Alan said. Is that with the advent of YouTube, I mean, you can almost convince yourself that you're fucking Bob Vila. You're like, bro, I'm Norm Abram. Look at me. I'm gonna build a koi pond in my backyard with running water and fresh bait for the koi, and I'm gonna put a net so the crows can't fucking feed on them, and you're gonna fuck it all up, and your backyard's gonna flood and all this other shit. But no, Alan Fox was handy up until a certain point, and I mean, like, very, like, he knew his way around the toolbox. But here's the thing: after he passed away, it took my mom about a year to a year and a half to get the house fully situated. And that's not just his stuff. That was mine and my brother's stuff from our childhood. And she finally told us, she was like, yep, I got it all situated. I'm not throwing anything out. You can come up and you can take what you want. You can sell what you want. You can leave what you want. I don't care. But I'm just letting you know that I have spent my time getting this house somewhat acclimated to being a widow. And she had mentioned that over the course of like decades, my dad accumulated something like 40 fucking hammers and 60 Phillips head screwdrivers, and just like
Good number of hammers.
just thought he lost a hammer, went and bought another one. Thought he lost something else and went and bought another one. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ! She's like, he could probably build 15 beginner tool sets with what we had around the house.
That's what you should do.
You should.
We should go get really tanked in your mom's front yard, and we'll set up little like wooden toolboxes, like kid starter toolboxes, and the kids in Perryville come by and be like, "Go tell your parents, give us $10, and you got yourself a hammer, a screwdriver, and whatever this thing is."
Yeah.
And miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous tool. It may be for testing the air filter in an HVAC system. It may just be a part that didn't fit back on when he was done.
You could
It's just a door hinge. Random shit.
bull nose nippers for removing nails that they don't even sell anymore. So if your parents' house was built before the 1940s, you might be in business.
You need one of these.
Yeah, that's interesting. I replaced it's called a thermocouple on a hot water heater. You familiar with that part? I did that by myself under the direction. And by direction, I mean my landlord asked me to do it. And he said only if I felt comfortable doing it. And I watched this YouTube video probably 45 fucking times. The only thing about it is I didn't realize that I don't know if it's lead, but there is a thin metal pipe that comes with these things that's malleable, that you can kind of like bend it around. But you're supposed to buy the correct size for the correct like size of water heater. Well, I didn't do that. So I had like 6 extra inches of fucking this metal, kind of small malleable metal pipe. I just wound it back up in there and threw it in there.
Hey.
Just tucked it in the door, shut the door. So it works for me.
There you go. Did it
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
There you go. That's a victory.
At
That's
least
a
as
win.
long as I was renting that house. Afterwards, don't know.
That's all you need. The shadiest thing I've ever done in my life, and I can't believe I'm admitting this, but the guy who was selling my townhouse, the air conditioning unit was like leaking Freon somehow. Like they had recharged it, and a week later it wasn't working again. This guy calls me up, and he's trying to sell my house. He's got the inspector coming. He's like, "Listen, I'm HVAC certified, so I'm gonna do this, and I'll just take it out of my cut. But I got a buyer coming. I'm gonna put Freon in your tank like an hour before the inspector gets there. I guarantee it's gonna blow cold. He's gonna put that heat gun up there. It's gonna be perfect." Lo and behold, it was. By the time we sold the house, it was not blowing cold air in the middle of
Jesus.
summer.
This is the house you sold down at Slower Lower?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If someone's cursing your name to this day. If I ever find that prick,
Yeah.
That might be a crime.
It might
Yeah.
be, and they're probably, and whomever's cursing me is like, "Ooh, winter's right around the corner. Let's break his HVAC system right before he gets home from Disney."
Yeah. Oh crap.
There was now that you got my wheels turning. As I wear this Frostburg State.
Criminal activity.
No, it has to do with Freon. As I wear this Frostburg State University Bobcat shirt after an after party, we used to on occasion just break stuff. So everyone would get kicked out. Most people, you'd have a handful of your close friends, maybe some lady that you were hollering at for the evening, or ladies that just were just dancing.
Hey, you want to see us throw stuff off the third floor?
Yeah. Hey, we got this entire cubby hole in this basement of stuff that belonged to previous tenants that we don't use that we're gonna smash. I know this is gonna get your loins on fire and you're gonna want to sleep with me afterwards. But yeah, someone took a window unit that may have last saw the light of day in the 70s and smashed it onto. I say the dance floor. It was let's be honest, it was a concrete slab. And
The dance floor.
and
You mean the flat area?
The fact that word even came out of your mouth in reference to that.
and when you define flat, Murr, I guarantee if you put a level on this thing, but
It was solid.
yeah, it was. Yes, you're absolutely right. But anyway, someone smashed it in a little stream of air, like sort of like kind of almost like a fog machine worth of Freon. And an unnamed person that Alan and I both know was like, "Yeah!" Got on his hands and knees and went. And all of us like, wow, I like the party, man, but that
That was fucking hardcore.
that ain't me.
Wow. That's fascinating because I don't know if that gets you high. I think it only makes you feel a sensation because it's freezing like the bronchial tubes in your lungs.
I think it's freezing parts of your brain while you're at it forever. But I'm not a neurologist, nor am I HVA certified, so can't answer either one of these questions.
I'm fairly certain this is really bad for you.
I just in a very similar. I just remember in my early 20s being at the bar and some guy's like, "Hey, I bought some pills off a guy in the bathroom. You want some?" Like, no, I don't. Like, what are they? He's like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out in 30 minutes, and just starts popping them in his mouth. And I'm like, dude, like, isn't the alcohol we're buying good enough?
The bravery.
Doesn't even know what he couldn't even. You could have said Xanax. I think they're Xanax. That's what he told me. He told you. I don't know. He just said drugs.
He's like,
Miscellaneous.
Hey, you want a handful of pills?
I've got some pills. Do you want some? No. What are they? I don't know. We'll find out. No, you'll find out. Not me.
Yeah.
Not interested.
And then a week later, he was huffing Freon in a random basement. Not just kidding.
Tearing it up on the dance floor, baby.
He was, yeah. He was doing the chicken dance, doing the Cupid shuffle.
No, I think that was a seizure, Wes.
That was his. Yeah, you're right. He was having a stroke seizure. Yeah. Good point. Middle class souls, everyone. Murr, Alan, and Fox, man, thank y'all for joining us on this festive. Christ, it got cold, it got fally quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Hence the conversation.
That's right.
Yeah, just a bit.
I was talking to a coworker, and I just said, like, the Mid-Atlantic, man, we can only enjoy these fucking things. You're supposed to enjoy spring. You're supposed to enjoy fall. This is supposed to be a time where, I get to wear some jeans and a t-shirt, maybe like a little zip up or something. And it almost butchers you. It's cold as fuck when you go to work in the morning, and by the time 2:00 rolls around, the jacket you had on, it got you sweating.
Yeah.
Where's the medium? Median? Anything?
I got a strip in the back of a mail truck. How do you think I feel? I'm like, I go to work in pants and a jacket, and by the afternoon, I've lost the jacket, and it's like, oh, my underwear's getting a little sweaty. And I take a pair of shorts with me, and I change them up right in the back.
I feel like today was a really bad one, honestly. Like it's been like kind of up and down. It's been, but like, I guess maybe like the morning hadn't been quite cold enough for me to like up it a level yet. But like this morning it was. Like I was chilly.
It was
You walked the
42.
dog.
It was
Yeah.
42 this morning, and then it got up to 67.
Yeah, and so I put on like a little quarter zip, nothing crazy, but like it was like 11:30, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. It's so hot outside. Like, yeah, I was furious. It was like I wore it for like 3 hours. It's like,
Is anybody fooled by the Mr. Machismo who walks around with shorts all year long? Is anybody fooled by that? Like, is that a thing?
Well, I was gonna say like when Wes said he it's jeans and a t-shirt. I'm kind of the opposite guy. I am the fucking I will wear shorts as long as humanly possible, but like my legs don't really get that cold. It's my upper body.
You could get someone, who grew up in like Rochester, New York or something like that. Someone who's acclimated, and this is like kind of, this is tiddlywinks.
Plus, we haven't had a cold winter in a while. I don't think that I can remember.
We didn't.
Fucking weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't snow once though.
Here or there. Like I wear pants predominantly. I'm not saying like I wear shorts all winter, but like now's one of those times where I'm like, nah, still shorts.
I just remember when that what was that cyclone bomb or whatever the fuck it was, like 2 or 3 years ago. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
I know what you're talking about. They called it something crazy.
It was like a cyclone bomb.
Cyclone or something. Yeah, or like I got
It was like, dude, it was like 12 degrees and windy for like 3 weeks. And I just remember being like outside, like, this is how people die. They don't care. They're just sending me out here. I'm going to die. I remember I was wearing a pair of Under Armour, like, leggings, right? With long johns over top of them, with like winter thick pants over top of them. And I was still fucking cold as shit.
That's ridiculous. That's just like human beings weren't meant to do. Like, I don't know. Eskimos evolved. They have
the polar vortex. That's what that shit was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
It took me so long to get that through into the brain. Yeah, I also think like, I mean, yeah, it was cold as fuck. I agree with you. I was not pleased. But like, what did it get down to? Like fucking 10. You know what I mean? Maybe a little less with the maybe it got to 0 to -5 with the wind chill. And people in like Minnesota are like, ha, fucking shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're wearing like freshly skinned geese on their backs, like
freshly
there's still an active fur trade in those states.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's a good point. They turned a blind eye to things down here we consider PC. Like, oh, you're gonna wear that fox jacket? Yeah, you bet. It's got fox liner with intestines.
Dude, I love watching those fucking. I love watching anything on like the National Geographic or anything like or Discovery that's like Arctic. Like any of those motherfuckers living like above the Arctic Circle in Alaska. They find beavers and those pelts are like fucking gold. They're like, oh yeah, I'm turning this shit into some moccasins, motherfucker, walking around. Watch an episode with one of those motherfuckers gets a beaver pelt. It looks like it's the most satisfying thing that's ever happened to a man. Like, it's the most incredible thing.
Oh, men love beaver, that's for sure.
Honey, I got one for the left foot. Woo! Skin it.
Hilarious.
We're going to get to a segment we haven't gotten to in a hot minute. It's called Friend or Foe, and it's about a woman in Virginia who, Murr, tell us what the hell happened.
Well, the pharmaceutical industry has been in the news quite a lot over the last several years, and there's a doctor who had a very interesting prescription for his patient. Unfortunately, this story reads like a romance novel, but I'll give it to you anyway. Robin Sipes' eyes filled with tears as soon as her doctor entered the examining room. Quote, "My cat had recently died, and I was feeling really sad and depressed," Sipes said. She said her pulmonary allergist, rabba-dabba-dabba, 15 years, blah-bitty-blah-bitty-blah. She was depressed. Her cat died, so his prescription was a cat. He prescribed a cat. He literally wrote down, go get you a cat. You're sad. You need companionship. I'm not going to give you any kind of psychoactive medication to cure this depression. Your depression is you're lonely. Go get a companion. Go get a cat. So my friend or foe is this. Do we need more doctoring in this country, or do we need to rely on these drugs? Is this a good precedent to set for a doctor to find a whimsical, creative way to treat their patients as individuals, or should we continue with our medical technologies? Wes?
Well, no, I was going to say, because Alan, being the middle-class holes cat lover, I'm going to get my popcorn, and I'm going to listen in.
Okay, now just remember, the prescription could be parrot. The prescription could be dog. The prescription could be deep dish Chicago-style pizza in front of a marathon of 1980s MacGyver. You know, these could be prescriptions that are handed out by a medical professional.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, are you friend of these types of new age prescriptions, or foe? No, the pharmaceutical companies spend a lot of time, money, effort, research, and manpower to develop things that actually help the human condition. So friend or foe, Alan?
So, Wes, you're Liz. So friend, fucking. So like, let's take it serious for a second. A friend, the concept. Like, but I am not. I'm not. I've never have been like. I am a proponent of Western medicine, but I'm also a proponent of shit like this and treating humans like humans and being like, listen, lady, just go get yourself a new fucking cat. You know. Now, as a personal aside, if a cat is the pet that you choose to bring yourself happiness, you should just blow your brains out anyway, because they're fucking terrible companions. But that's neither here nor there. Do I think prescribing a pet is valid from a doctor? Sure. My biggest question is, do you take it to CVS and see if they fill it?
Will insurance cover the cat? That's a good point.
same
Yeah,
questions.
that's fair. But I feel like a cat would probably be. Well, then you got to do the food and all that. If a doctor prescribes a cat, is insurance then have to cover your meow mix?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, might be a
Gotta get it
stretch.
filled, but you got to get it filled in a giant, child-safe fucking container from CVS. You can't go
Yeah.
get it anywhere else. You can't go to Costco and get fucking Meow Mix. You got to get prescription Meow Mix.
Yeah, and this thing in the container is like fucking carnival size. I
Well,
mean,
you
this
can't
is like
go to
two
Costco
hand.
because they got
They're
it
hugging
wrong.
this thing out. Yeah,
Yeah. Like you need a cart.
right. And you need a pair pair of vice grips that only a father that would fill the house with like 6 or 7 of them. You just like crank that fucker out. No, I did. Yeah, I did want to say this.
Like
Murray,
ice blocks.
yeah, Murray, you had relayed a few alternative. You said it's not necessarily prescribing the cat; it's prescribing this or that or this. And for this instance, the example is a cat. But you had mentioned what Chicago deep dish with MacGyver reruns. The doctor had treated her previously for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So if he was prescribing Chicago deep dish while watching MacGyver reruns, he might lose his license. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm friending the idea of, listen, lady, I'm not giving you fucking Xanax. That way you can sell it at bathroom bars, or bars and bathrooms. Tell people I don't know what this is to make a little bit of money, or whatever. What was it was Zoloft, the big one in like the late '90s.
Yeah, with the little rolling cartoon rock.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like doctors were like, "Doc, I don't feel good. Zoloft, Zoloft." Obviously, but did he write a prescription? Can you just say go down to the fucking pound or whatever, Paul's or Animal Sanction Rescue or something, and get? I don't need to write RX8. Dr. King says meow meow, get a pussy, yum yums.
But then you don't get a whimsical write up in the News 6 online edition. You know.
Yeah, you're right. This is very Anchorman-ish. Like, and the doctor wrote her a prescription for a cat. Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that amazing? I wonder what she'll name him. Maybe she'll name him King after the doctor. If you ask me, that man should be king of the world. Alan? But no, I'm a huge fan of this because, again, my experience having gone to the doctor for an ailment, you know, the guy, if he had just listened to what I had told him about my situation, I probably would not have gotten an MRI and had a colonoscopy at fucking 40 years old. I wouldn't have had to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket because I wasn't old enough to be that sick for some reason, according to the medical industry. You know, if he had just listened, and I feel like if we need more individual healthcare like this, like that's literally called doctoring, what that guy did.
Hey, he's a you screwed it up. I had it beforehand. He's a pulmonologist, right? And that is
It's heart, right?
Lungs and stuff.
No, that too.
I think it's like, yeah, it's circulatory. But
whole thing, but yeah.
he talked in here about like the neglect of mental health. So you talk about like, yeah, my specialty isn't mental health, but I'm a doctor. Here you go. I'm doctoring.
Yeah,
right? Or
I'm
this
doctoring.
this is
through the person.
2023. We're focusing on mental health. Like it's a great example.
Well, I mean, the whole like broken hearts are real. Like it is. A lot of it's psychosomatic. Like like the physical parts of your body start breaking down because you're mentally fucked. You're fucked mentally. So go do something to unfuck yourself mentally. And sometimes you need doctors to trick your patients. You need to trick them. I remember, I don't even know what this was. It was like an episode of like, I don't know, like NCIS or some shit like that. And they were investigating a doctor for fraud. And it's like, you've been charging this woman $100 a month for sugar pills. And he's like, yeah. Well, why would you do that? It's a placebo. Well, why would you charge her so much? Because if I charged her any less, she wouldn't believe they worked. I was like, oh, fuck. Ooh, look at that little wrinkle. Like, you got to trick them. You got to trick them sometimes. And sometimes you don't got to trick people. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what you need? Zoloft? No, you need a fucking cat.
Yeah.
You're sad. You're lonely. You can't fix that with medication. You can fix that with something real life and tangible that you can fucking pet and stroke and feed. It needs you. You're needed. Now you're okay, right? Yep, I'm okay. All right, get the fuck out of my office.
Those sound like the descriptions of a dog and not a cat. Is all.
I do agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with you, Alan. But this
Right.
lady's a crazy cat woman who believes a cat will save her life.
Dummy.
Would you take a parrot over a cat?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Really?
What? Yeah,
These things are loud. They live so fucking long.
yeah, they do live forever. Yeah, man. Yeah, we almost brought one back from Nicaragua once.
Oh,
Ooh.
you just stuff it in your carry-on.
No, you gotta that bitch gotta go through like 60-day quarantine in Miami and shit. There's a whole thing.
They got to X-ray it for like baggies of cocaine.
Yeah, but you can just buy one at like the flea market. Like you
Right.
just go get one. Like it's like 20 fucking bucks. There you
Yeah,
go.
there was
Give me a
there was
fucking-
actually at the pet store at the Christiana Mall, which was the nearby one of the nearby malls that we went to growing up. They the front end had parrots, and my parents caught me saying "fuck you" to it once to try to get it to say it back. Say "fuck you." He's gonna do it.
Dude, there's a house I deliver to, and they've got, I guess they're parakeets or something. And every time you walk up there, now they don't say like intruder or anything like that, but they give a squawk. And all I can remember, like the drug pigeons that'll like do flips when people come into like they're flying in the air and they'll do flips if somebody's coming to the door. Yeah, these parrots are straight up fucking. They're drug parakeets. They're lookouts, man. You can hear them change their tones. It's pretty awesome.
So where are we on the what is covered by insurance? Because I think it's just the cost of the cat and the shots. But you guys were talking about fucking 6 months worth of Meow Mix and I don't know, the neuterines and all this other shit.
Well, I think if a doctor, I think that this is one of those spots where, yeah, I think the real friend or foe should be like if a doctor prescribes a parrot, just to save Alan some some blood pressure medication.
I can set it aside.
I think that if a doctor prescribes something like that and says this is a medically beneficial treatment for this individual, and I would like, you don't have to go overboard. Like, I don't know, like a sifter of, kitty litter. I don't know, like a box of kitty litter a month, a box of like wet food a month should be covered by insurance as part of the prescription.
Make it kind of like food stamps. Like we'll get you the shit, but if you want that top of the line Purina fresh salmon, that's on your fucking dime.
Yeah, because
We
the
all-
doctor's
we-
saying this is the medical care you need to save your life or make you better. Therefore, the insurance should, and the insurance companies aren't going to do it. You know they're not. There's no fucking way. This is all fucking hypothetical bullshit. And the insurance, there's going to be some insurance adjuster out there just like, what code should I put in for that? F you, because it ain't happening.
Basically.
Meow.
But I'll tell you what, you get 100 Zoloft for like $5.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah. What would be, if you were your own doctor, what makes you better?
What makes me better?
Yeah.
What
Like
just
if I was,
overall improves my happiness and well-being.
yes, 100%. Like you are prescribed, you have to go do this. Like this is the thing that you must do, and you don't have a choice.
print money. That'd be sweet. That'd just
Okay,
that's
Jesus
it.
Christ.
That's about it. Fucking done. Problem solved.
Like catch me if you can. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Can I just write bad checks?
Be a fake pilot for Pan Am.
I would be. Can I be a pilot for Pan Am? That'd be fantastic.
I mean, I was gonna say like your prescription is, Mr. Murr, you have to sit on the couch in your underwear with the heat set to 74 degrees. You got to drink this entire 6-pack and catch an entire Baltimore Orioles game.
Oh, that's solid. I could reel it in. I'd probably be like, I gotta play like 3 rounds of golf a week.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I know sometimes when I'm stinking it up, it's not therapy.
Nope, just got power through, bud. Just got power through.
It's the opposite. It's what sends me to therapy.
Go buy a couple more balls.
Yeah.
Just power through.
There's when I said the other day, I was like, I of all the trinkets and tools and aids that you could, but like swing aids or whatever you could find in golf, I need one of those Men in Black memory erasers. Oh, you are a fabulous golfer and a romantic, and you're a swell guy. All right, get out there and hit them high. Let's go.
Would you? Okay, you know how they have all the gadget clubs and things out there, like
Fucking beer, god damn it, spilled everywhere. What the fuck? I don't want to drink beer.
All right, Wesley, I'm gonna write you a prescription. With all the gadget clubs and things like that, like okay, Rodney Dangerfield's character from Caddyshack. Could you live with yourself if like that was your golf bag?
Like with all the gadgets and the gimmicks and shit.
Yeah, like he's got like the putter with like it's got like the targeting fucking like strategy on there and like
Yeah, like sonar from a fucking submarine. Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean,
Couldn't.
I think
It's like, I've definitely played with like some randos, some like they got like those like cheating ass wedges. Fucking West.
it's a putting wedge. I was taught, so it's a putter it's like at 10 degrees aloft. So basically you can just, if you're in just off the green in high grass, you can putt with it. I always referred to it as a Texas wedge, but like in the layperson's terms, it's called a putting wedge, and it's highly illegal. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And yes, I've played with people that I always make a point to say, that's an illegal club. Like I don't give a fuck. I mean,
So,
I don't care if you use it because we're not playing for money, but like that's fucking cheating.
Like I don't care enough to say it, but I'll look at you. I'll shoot you some sass.
Yeah.
Be like, come on, man.
Like if someone now is still using a belly putter, I don't give a shit.
No.
Because they're illegal. You can't touch it can't
really. Okay.
You have to have your thumb over the end of it, and it can't because basically it creates like a balance to where you can create a pendulum.
You can't anchor it against anything, really.
Yeah, and I mean, at our level of golf, like that's just ridiculous. You'd be like, hey man, you can't use that. But that fucking club, man, that thing is like, I don't know, it's like playing with a joker in 21. It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, that one it does get me. Maybe like I don't know. I like to think I have a decent wedge game. You got a decent wedge game. Like, yeah, just fucking learn how to not have hands of fucking stone, you piece of garbage. Like, so why are you using this thing? I don't know. That's the only one that really grinds my gears. Everything else, I don't really care.
Yeah, doesn't he have a driver where he doesn't have to swing? It's just like
there is one.
It's like a piston. That...
I think actually Bergen used it at like a networking golf thing that we were at once. But like, yeah, it's like a driver head, but it's like spring loaded, and you just fucking you like line up and you just press a button and it just
shoots that fucker out 250 straight.
I was at one the other day, and the engineering firm had a straight up fucking like air fucking gun. Like you put a golf ball in and just fly it down the fucking fairway. It was sweet. It was very cool.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't think I could live with myself if we're fucking using whatever Rodney Dangerfield's character's name is in Caddyshack. Yeah.
No.
All right. So we're all friending the.
I think so.
The alternative depression type thing. I mean, this not necessarily the cat, but the alternative to feeding prescription drugs down people's throats to feel better.
Stop. stop giving people things with 800 fucking side effects, and that you tell me that I shouldn't take if I'm allergic to it. Which how would I even fucking know that unless I took it already? Like, and give people cats, I guess. Fuck it.
Not just I think actually what we're all friending is like, a actual personal physician, that actually knows who the fuck we are and not just like next, because that's where I am. Like I have really good insurance that can only be used at really corporate medical facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a dime a dozen. They don't know who you are. They forgot they saw you last time. They don't know your name. They know
You have
nothing
to go
about
to
you.
one of those doctor malls.
No, I mean I go to a real Christiana Care. It's like it's a huge conglomerate of hospitals in the region.
Yeah.
But because it's so big, they don't know who the fuck you are.
Reasonable. No, I mean, like, I feel like you can get doctors, so that's like a medical system, and most places. So, I feel like you can get a consistent doctoral care if you, find the right office and find your guy and, stick to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking more like a particular brand of health insurance that people end up getting, and they have, single compounds that have fucking, literally everything.
Mhm.
Even the accounting is there. You get a bill on the way out. You know what I'm saying? That kind of a joint. Because those places are wild and not great.
Here, you're gonna have to pay for the cat food. Sorry.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's like, I knew it.
But that is your friend or foe.
All right, let's friend or foe and get into Fun Fact Friday, because that's alliteration, and I'm really smart, and I know my onomatopoeias from my something else in English. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's alliterative to alliteration?
Wait, what?
The world might blow up here in a second. I don't know. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Well, let's find some real facts that we can actually consume. Let's get to your mental floss. Amazing facts! Brought to you, of course, by our brand new friend over on Instagram, Cuckster, the number 4, Life. Go find Cuckster 4 Life if you'd like to see the sad ramblings of a man justifying his cucketry. Is that a term you would use, Wes?
That's not alliteration, but I think you can weasel that way into the corner of a Motel 6 outside of BWI. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
join
Cuckster's-
us for our cucketry.
Cuckster is whimsical yet sad. So if you'd like to see a whimsically sad man in front of a radiator speaking about his wife taking on multiple men at multiple times, find the Cuckster 4 Life on Instagram. Let's get to it. Your Fun Fact Friday. Did you know? On October 13th, 2021, at the age of 90, Star Trek icon William Shatner became the oldest person to enter space when he headed into the final frontier aboard Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin space vehicle.
I feel like we talked about this.
We talked about it
this
when it
was-
happened because this is only 2021. So
Yeah,
this is only
yeah.
2
It
years
was
ago.
2 years ago. I kind of feel like I remember that. And I think I said, did he get near Uranus? And you were like, God damn it, you son of a bitch. You got to ruin it.
I just remember, what's his, oh my, George Takei calling him like a fat little hamster or something like that.
This is ringing a bell. Yeah. Then Alan commented on how good your George Takei
Yep.
impersonation was.
Which,
Yeah.
again,
Whew.
fantastic. Actually.
Oh my.
Oh my. Yeah. Which, by the way, he said on Howard Stern during an interview, and then that went viral, and that has become like his second career, just saying 2 fucking words for the rest of his life, and being bitter at William Shatner for going into space for many other reasons.
Stern used to get him on for about a week out of a year. For more than a decade, because they were buddies, and he used to kind of enjoy Takai's take on things. Just kind of the new idea, new opinion, someone fresh, someone saying "oh my" after already made a fucking dick and fart joke. But I will say, you said 90, right?
Yeah, 90 years
That's-
old.
I do want. I mean, first of all, that's just probably for a generation before us of people who grew up with Shatner, and I know we kind of did, but let's be honest, the real people that grew up with him was the television show. That was the the start of it. But yeah, 90 entering space. I mean, these are a lot of people are like, damn, oh shit, okay.
Well,
Okay, I feel better about this.
It's two things. I mean, Captain Kirk definitely got that entire generation interested in space travel and all that. So, an American icon who helped advance that notion in people's like engineering minds any which way. And then also kind of to prove like, hey, it's pretty fucking safe. If we can put a 90-year-old man up here, anybody else, if you can ride a roller coaster, you can come to space for $200,000 a pop.
And you know what's coming up next? Deep sea expeditions to the Titanic. I mean, that's the next for the old folks.
God, I made a Titanic joke at work, and I felt real bad about it yesterday.
Never feel bad.
It was not in good taste. But did you know the New York Yankees won their first World Series in 1923 during the original Yankee Stadium's inaugural year? 86 years later, on November 4th, 2009, they won their 27th title in the first year playing at the new Yankee Stadium, which is located across the street from the site of the original ballpark.
You know goddamn well I knew that.
I know.
Goddamn well I knew that. Do you know why they decided to move and build their own stadium? Obviously because they had like a certain amount of wealth, and they had a guy named Babe Ruth who on their team was killing it. But you know why they were at the Polo Grounds.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just continue to tell your story because I don't know any
so
of this shit.
The New York Giants played in the Polo Grounds, and they were, the Yankees were tenants. Okay, the Giants owned the Polo Grounds, and it got to a point where the Yankees were selling more tickets. So the owner of the Giants was like, "You got to get the fuck out of here. I don't give a shit." So the Yankees were like, "All right, fuck you. We're taking it across the East River into the Bronx, and voila, biggity boom."
Alan, did you ever go to Old Yankee Stadium?
I did not, unfortunately. I never got.
I mean, thanks to Wes and the boys, I did get to take a trip up there, and even though I hate the Yankees with all the passion of my soul, and I'm nostalgic for old buildings and things like that, and I was like, man, they can't tear this fucking thing down. And I got in there, and there's like a 45-degree fucking walkway, like to get to your seats.
No handrails.
No handrails. Your calves are burning 3 steps in. There is zero. There's like to wait in line for a hot dog. It's only 3 people deep, and then it has to go to an immediate like right angle, and then the troughs are made of copper. And I'm like, they should have burned this fucker eons ago. I will swing the wrecking ball for you. Fuck this place. It's so steep up there. It's like Old Memorial Stadium. Like you think if you lean forward, you're tumbling. You're going to be in the outfield. That place needed to go.
Yeah, old as fuck. Yep, well, that's what happens.
Here's another good did you know with this, and this a lot of people don't know this. If you look back at certain player accolades, mainly, and what I'm going to tell you is MVP. There was a time if you won league MVP, you couldn't win it again. It was most of Babe Ruth's career.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, you won it once. We got to give everyone a participation trophy. We don't care if you hit 60 home runs 4 years later. Doesn't matter.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
They pulled it, I think it was like the early 40s. I can't remember exactly when it was. Sometime late 30s, early 40s. I think I'll give you my guess. But yeah.
I just randomly looked up like aerial views of the Polo Grounds. It's kind of fucking wild.
Oh yeah, I mean it was made
huge.
for
I knew that.
polo. Yeah, it was like 280 down the left field line and 265 down the right field line, and then immediately just jarred it out.
Yep.
And if you look, there's an aerial view of how close it was to Old Yankee. I mean, you could walk across. I don't know what bridge that is. What bridges Harlem with the Bronx, but you get there.
Some stupid bridge.
Yeah. Neither one
I don't know. I just hate fucking everything New York. You stupid bridges and your stupid boroughs. And
Except the deep dish pizza. Just kidding.
Gonna get us murdered.
Did you know? On October 16th, 1793, Marie Antoinette stepped on her executioner's foot on the way to the guillotine. Her last words were said to be, "Monsieur, je vous demande pardon." and then other French words that I can't pronounce as well as that. Or, pardon me, monsieur, I did not mean to do that on purpose. So she apologized for stepping on the guy who was getting ready to lop her head off his foot on her way to the gallows, basically.
Do you think she meant it? You think she meant I didn't mean to do that?
Yeah, pretty. I think she did. She seemed like a rather naive young lass.
I don't know, man. I just feel like I think she said it, kind of sarcastically, like I didn't mean to do that.
That's a lot of syllables for sarcastic, man. Like if I was gonna be sarcastic, like, yeah, my bad, or fuck you.
Potato. I don't know. I can't tell you, man. Don't know. I mean, I just feel as though if you're gonna get, decapitated, you'd be a little sarcastic to the person, the decapitator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think somebody like that was so prim and proper, like the way she was raised, and I can't imagine she was that old. I don't know how old exactly Marie Antoinette was when she went to and to fucking go to the guillotine. Like we're gonna fucking jeez, man. I'm sure they sharpened it up for her. Maybe they did her that courtesy, but there's tales of like them having to drop that fucker like 5 to 7 times.
Oh,
yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
That's
but
terrible.
that's for like, the fucking beggar who like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They probably sharpened it up for her a little bit.
yeah, she got the good one. They had multiple. They didn't just have one.
She
They
got
had, like a royal one and like
the fresh Ginsu, the fresh, the one that the person who's doing door-to-door sales cuts the human bone in front of you.
One, like they replace the blade like every time.
Gotcha.
And then like the other one's like the blade's not even replaceable. They just figure it out. you know what I mean? Like,
have you had your tetanus shot lately?
If I'm not mistaken, the last guillotine was like 1979. No, I'm sorry, 1977. There you go.
Christ.
September 10th, 1977 was the last time they dropped a fucking steel blade from 10 feet up to chop some motherfucker's head off.
yeah, man. Like, dude, you ain't that far removed from a lot of wild shit if you think about it. Like,
Where was this?
France.
the Frenchies love lopping heads off. Come on.
I mean, it could have been, I don't know, Mongolia or
She
something
was
like that.
she was 37.
Okay. All right.
In the 1700s. I mean, that's a little of that. What did they do to Mussolini? Didn't they
Oh,
They hung him and they
hold on, pause.
Yeah,
Google
Mussolini's death?
it. Yeah.
because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think they just tied him to a post and let people just like punch him.
Yeah, so they definitely fucking they definitely fucking like dragged him about town. I think they shot him and then they dragged him about town and then they fucking hung his body like upside down
Yeah, and then they just like pinataed.
in like a town square.
Yeah,
So there's several convicting versions of theories of how Mussolini and was it
Like
Patisi? I don't know. Is that like his general or something?
yeah, it was a bunch
died
of
or
his- it
put
was a
forward
bunch of
after
his
the
fucking
war.
boys. Yeah.
Seems the components remains. Yeah, I thought that I didn't realize. I thought he died not but in front of people in a town square. I thought they hung him. And
Oh yeah,
then-
they hung him. Like you can look at the pic. I'm looking at the picture right now.
I think they hung him and then basically pinated his ass. Like everybody got to take a punch. Everybody got to hit him with a stick. I think they threw tomatoes at his body for a while.
Yeah, because the Italians throw tomatoes at everything.
Exactly. Dude, you know how Gaddafi, you know how like the final blow, you know what killed him?
No.
a plum tomato.
They took turns putting a fucking knife in his ass.
Oh,
In his
Yeah.
butt? In his
Yeah.
butthole? Oh,
Yeah.
that's rude.
Yeah,
not the fat like meaty part, but the actual.
yeah, they went right for the pucker, man.
Yeah, I was like, what are they? Just
Bullseye.
stab the cheeks? God, it took forever. Like, how long does it take to bleed out from ass cheek wounds?
You do a lot of squats, you bastard.
Tough
And,
meat.
and there's video of the first guy plunging the first knife in, and like look on his face is like I ran this shit. What the fuck, man? Like doing me dirty.
Damn.
Yeah.
I gotta find. I would kind of want to see that actually.
So hold on. They documented Muammar Gaddafi's reaction to having a fucking bayonet shoved in his rectum.
Yep.
Wow. Damn near killed him. Well, it did in this case. But... yuck, yuck, yuck.
Thank you. And finally, we're approaching Halloween, so how appropriate. Did you know the eyes for Tales of the Crypt Keeper were taken from leftover Chucky eyes from Child's Play?
Damn. I'm going to tell you, listen, as a person who grew up with HBO, I watched a lot of Wimbledon tennis, a lot of Dream On, a lot of Real Sex, and a lot of Tales from the Crypt. Mm-hmm. Did not know that. And now when you said that, I had an onomatopoeia that blew my mind to smithereens. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but wow, that's crazy.
Wait,
yeah.
Hold on. What did you say?
The eye.
What was the thing? What was the actual fact, Mur? Again,
the eyes of the Crypt Keeper were leftover eyes from Chucky.
Okay, that makes it worse. Actually, I hated both.
Makes it worse.
I had both of those characters. Like I was very young for both of those characters. Like when they first came out, and my mom got me one of them Chucky dolls, and I was like, "Get that shit the fuck out of here! Not about it. Don't bring that around this place." And the Crypt Keeper freaked me the fuck out for a little while until I grew up.
Dude, the Crypt Keeper, I because I'm older than you guys, like I was at the age where the Crypt Keeper was fucking hilarious. He had just one-liners that were just like, I mean, he was scary to look at, don't get me wrong, but like the shit he was saying was just like, you couldn't be afraid of that guy. You'd want to hang out with the Crypt Keeper. He was a cool dude.
Because they did the intro and then he swung it to the first, because it used to do in bits. Remember, it was like either 2 or 3 kind of 10 to 15 minute shows, and then someone would die and it would come back to him doing, I don't know, like fucking shoving a bayonet in someone's rectum.
Damn near killed him.
The next tale comes from and I loved it. God, and now that you tell me, it's just recycled Chucky's eyes. That's wild. Do you think like a producer knew someone? Like, hey, man, we need a set of eyes? Or these were just, like, falling around somewhere in a production stage?
No, it was some guy that was a producer, and was like, yeah, we used the Child's Play guys, and the Child's Play guys were like, Dad, we got all these leftover eyes sitting around. Let's just shove them in that guy. That's all it was. 100%.
Shoving this little, 4-foot skeleton.
But, Alan, you talked about the Chucky doll. Now, are you aware of the My Buddy doll?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I
didn't fuck with that either. It was too close to them.
I saw one of the best like TikTok videos I've seen in a long time, and this quote kid who's probably in his 30s was like, "Hey Dad, you want to tell a story about how you traumatized me as a kid?" And the dad sitting there drinking a beer too was like, "Yeah, you had one of those My Buddy dolls, and I made you watch Child's Play with Chucky, and you got so scared you went out in the backyard and you buried him. So I went out there the next day and dug him up." And put him right back in your room, dirt and all.
Yeah, that's how you traumatize a kid.
And then when you freaked out and threw him in the trash, I got him out of the trash, and I put him on top of the bunk bed that was over top of where you slept. And then the tale kept going on. The kid kept trying to get rid of it, and Dad kept fucking getting it and putting it right back in his room. And it was fucking. And then the kid looked at he said, "Yeah, that's the guy you married. Just let you know." And that is your Fun Fact Friday.
Well, it's been a hot minute since we've done a good bad movie review. So much so, was it Private Resort?
Yeah,
that was the last one
from about 2, maybe 3 months ago. We sometimes lose track of these things, but we didn't. It came back full circle, and here we are in the midst of autumn, and that has nothing to do with with Murr's good bad movie that we're going to review. But Murr, if you want to take it away, I know that you watched it, and I know that you probably blew some shit up and grabbed a handgun, and then you told young William, this is one of the greatest movies of the early '90s, young man. We're gonna.
Now I'm doing what I feel will be kind of a controversial pick for you guys, but it did get 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the reason I watched this film is because Arnold Schwarzenegger has that 3-part docuseries on Netflix, and so I was like. He mentions how Last Action Hero basically almost ended his movie career. And I said, okay, was it really that bad? And so I went back and I watched The Last Action Hero for your good, bad movie review. Now, I can understand why people don't like it because it's such a tongue-in-cheek, cheesy movie, and that's not what Arnold Schwarzenegger was all about back when he was the superstar before he became governor of California. But Last Action Hero is essentially about a kid. He gets a magic ticket. He goes to see a sequel to his favorite action movie franchise. The ticket is magical, and it sucks him into the film where he then has to partner up with the Arnold Schwarzenegger character in the movie. And it hits all of the cliches that made the late 80s, early 90s action films. And why I believe that The Last Action Hero is a good, bad movie is it's the film that exposed the action series for what they were. They were cookie-cutter cutouts, and all you had to do was plug and place. You need a punchline. You need a catchphrase. You need this big explosion. The guns never run out of bullets. They exposed all this stuff. Last Action Hero is the most meta action film of all time, and if it was not for The Last Action Hero, we would not have propelled ourselves into the movie genre that followed, where you couldn't bullshit the audience anymore. It exposed action movies for what they were, which makes Last Action Hero one of the greatest bad movies of all time.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I do think that there was a little bit of an area of gray because The Rock came out about a year and a half after this, and there was still some carryover of what you're talking about. But I understand. I do agree to a certain extent. Now, I didn't watch it in its entirety, but I watched about 30 YouTube clips. So I feel like I piecemealed it together. And first of all, the ticket, it was from Harry Houdini, if you forgot about that. And the kid is it his uncle or just an old guy who owns a movie theater that allows the kid to go in for free?
I think it's a pedophile, if I'm not mistaken. That just like
Yeah.
whimsically like
Right.
like you're my best friend, young man. Let's go into this darkly lit room together and watch films. But no
Put some
one
extra-
can see or hear.
Put some extra butter on that popcorn. Get your fingers all wheeled up. One of my favorite scenes from this, and this is kind of how I'm going to go about this because I remember the plot, and you're absolutely right. It was littered with him saying like, "I'll be back," or "Have a nice day." Just it's like the cliche lines over and over again. But they're at the. It's not a Blockbuster, but it's a movie, like a movie rental place. And of course, then he sees this hot girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're a movie star?" He's like, "Absolutely. I was in a romantic movie, and it starred you." And then he started asking for phone numbers, and she says, it's 555. He's like, everyone's phone number starts with 555? And he's like, yeah. How many people live in Los Angeles? About 8.5 million. It's like, there's only 9,999 numbers. How does that work? He's like, that's why we have area codes. It's like, oh. It's just trying to convince him that he's in a movie, and he still doesn't realize it.
Well, and then it's also got the cliche, like, bad guy who's really, like, well-spoken, but he's got the fake eye, it's like, and then when he comes out of the movie and he's in the real world, Arnold realizes you can't just punch through glass windows of cars. Guns run out of bullets. It exposed all those things that the movie industry thought you were too dumb to realize, which for me is what makes Last Action Hero a great movie. Because the next movie that Arnold made after his governorship was True Lies, which is one of the greatest action movies of all time. And it doesn't bullshit the audience.
That's fair. I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I personally love this movie. I don't even think it's a bad. I mean, it is a terrible movie. Let me stop. But it's good. It's fucking. I love it. I used to love it growing up. You forgot the cliche fucking angry black captain that yells at fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Where he eventually just starts speaking gibberish. And then water's just flowing down his forehead.
Smoke coming out of his ears. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, what's going to happen to me? Yeah. Or when he goes back to his apartment and shoots into his closet and says like a bad guy. He's like, "How'd you know?" He's like, "There's always a bad guy in there."
There's always one there.
And he opens it up just to a bunch of the same snakeskin boots and fucking guns.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get to rewatch The Last Action Hero in the last couple of days because they've taken it off and I wasn't paying for it
That's
to,
fair.
to watch
Yeah,
that again.
Me either.
But yeah, no, I watched it a couple months ago. But I think what happened when I watched it is I kind of had this epiphany that like this is a really I don't know if it's almost like forced not forced watching, I don't know what I'm getting at here. It's kind of like if I told you to watch like a Stanley Kubrick movie. You may not enjoy yourself, but you may take away from it something that's more fulfilling. And I think if you watch Last Action Hero for what it is a much more fulfilling movie than just like what meets the eye. If you're just a dumb lunk and you want to be entertained, it might do it for you, but you're not going to like it so much. But if you walk away from it saying like, holy shit, because of this movie, all the movies I've seen since then are just grades better, then you can thank Last Action Hero for that.
It did. You're right. It did kind of put like the Michael Bays in check. You know, like, hey, you can't. An explosion isn't going to propel you 40 miles an hour away from the explosion. Your fucking Cadillac, of all things. You know, you're not going to be able to shoot a dynamite stick that was thrown at you from a car behind you that's traveling at the same speed, you know, like, and then, yeah.
Well, check this yin and yang out. I thought about this when I was thinking about Last Action Hero today, is like the original Die Hard, right? That was just a regular guy in an extraordinary situation, had to fight his way out. So everybody loved that movie because it was real. Then you get to Die Hard 2, where they used every action movie trope that was available to them because now John McClane was an action star. Right. Bruce Willis was an action star. So they applied the same physics and all the other bullshit to that movie. Die Hard 2 is the worst movie of the Die Hard trilogy. Or, well, they kept going, unfortunately, but...
It was once a trilogy.
I will say of the trilogy, the true trilogy,
right.
1 and 3 are the best, and 2 sucks because they tried to apply that format to it. And Last Action Hero kills the format. And Last Action Hero gave us the governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who also, when he ran into himself in the movie theater of the premiere of the movie that this guy's from, he was like, "You're one of the best. What did he say? You're one of the best body doubles I've ever seen. This is incredible." So good. Then he gets shot at the end, and the kid manages to get him back, and the boss says, "This is a flesh wound."
Oh yeah, because he like gets shot in the heart. He gets him back to the movie theater screen to the magic world. It's like, it's a flesh wound. Get back to work tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
A couple of cameos in this. His daughter is played by Bridget something or other. Sampras. Pete Sampras is, I don't know if it's wife or ex-wife. She was the hot teacher in Billy Madison.
Oh, okay.
Remember his daughter? Yeah, she can do. She's not only a world-class gymnast, but also a marksman with a fucking hand cannon, and is able to shoot off, would-be invaders of the house.
I've always said she's got a little bit of a face, but she's got a bit of a body. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, Last Action Hero, folks, check it out. That's a good listen. I was a bit skeptical because 40% to me starts like really.
It's on the line.
It's on the line, but yeah. I'll allow it.
Thank you. It's still got the green splotch.
Yeah, you're right. It does, and it just kind of oozes just early '90s bullshit too.
Yeah. But I guess my point is what I found fascinating about it is it does it on purpose though. It's almost like It's almost like a movie that sabotages itself, and I just think in retrospect it's a better film because of what came of it. It's like we can't make that anymore, so that is why I chose Last Action Hero. And by the way, one of the greatest AC/DC songs ever recorded got buried because that movie did so poorly. Big Gun. It has got one of the greatest guitar riffs of all time, thanks to Angus Young and the boys.
And you had said, you asked me, I said good tune. You were asked if I was like joking with you. What'd I say?
Well, because sometimes, because I know, like, look, you guys are more hip hop guys. I'm more of a rock guy. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I don't know, like, AC/DC songs tend to be very similar to other AC/DC songs. So I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic.
No.
Like, yeah, good tune.
I feel like before before I get to my main trek out to work, when I do drive in, it's like a couple like city streets, and then onto a highway, the BW Parkway, 295. And I stopped to get gas, and I saw you message that, and I put it on right as soon as I got on the highway. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then it ultimately reminded me of, and this is sidetracking here, but have you ever seen the Jim Brewer bit when he talks about AC/DC doing the hokey pokey?
Yes, absolutely.
Put your left foot in.
You take your right foot out.
You do the hokey pokey.
Take it on a bow.
Dude, I saw a great, it was literally like a 10-second animated, like, I'll call it a meme because it was so short, but like, it was the AC/DC guy standing around like, all right, who's going to be the lead singer? I think I can do it.
I can do it, me.
Yeah, so check out Big Gun from AC/DC. By the way, I got my Fender Stratocaster because I wanted to learn that fucking riff after seeing that movie.
And how long did you plug away at it?
I never learned it.
Nice.
You should have started in the movie. In the movie, you would have learned it right away.
Yeah,
You
I
would
would
have
have
been
picked up
natural.
the guitar and it just would have come out of it.
Instead, you have to be the guy who covers it from Fish. Sorry, I'm gonna keep bringing that up forever.
Okay, thank you.
Alan, tell all the Last Action heroes and all the heroes of action and anyone else in between where you can find the middle class holes.
Oh, well, you can find the middle class holes for all your listening pleasures. We're going to switch it up this week and start with the fucking audio stuff. And you can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And, of course, for interacting with us, check us out on social medias. We're at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter. And we're the Middle Class Holes on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, fucking Truth Social, fucking...
Truth Social.
Hezbollah.org.
Rumble. Oh,
Fucking
Hezbollah.
Is freeisraelpalestine.web. Fucking send us stuff
Two girls, one podcast.
for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Only a handful of listener comments from this week. I'm going to consolidate a few of these. Beating Bigfoot crisis comes from Space Engineering Empire 4086. It says, fun fact, a country, and I later on figured out he didn't mean country, he meant state, actually made it illegal to hunt Bigfoot. They're stating that if it exists, he's endangered, and he keeps referring to it he. Could be they. If he doesn't, then you're endangering people. Anyway, point is, if Bigfoot exists, it's endangered because it's one of one, and therefore it's illegal. And we talked about this, and it wasn't a country; it was a state. It's Washington.
Okay, so can you just dumb that down, dumber than what was just said? Can you?
By
Okay,
space engineering, basically, what I just said is that if Bigfoot exists, then it's one of what we know as one. Therefore, it's an endangered species. So therefore, you can't hunt it.
Well, you can hunt it, you just can't kill it. And if I'm quoting the great Wesley Fox, it's like, you wrangle that motherfucker and you whip the shit out of him. That ain't killing him. He's still around. You can extract some DNA from him.
Right.
I mean, I disagree with your mode of operations, but,
What are the two tiger wranglers? One of them's dead. There was Simon and...
Siegfried and Roy.
Simon and
Garfunkel.
Siegfried Runkle or something like that.
Simon and Randy, the famous tiger wranglers.
Get one of them. Dude. He's got a good.
The
fucking
very
rip,
famous German tiger wranglers.
Yeah, no, he doesn't
Simon
have.
and Randy.
Only one of them has two good arms, and the other one lost so much blood his left
dead.
side.
One of them's dead, man.
Oh, is he dead now? Okay.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I don't know.
Well,
Died of
then
like
I guess
tiger rabies or something.
I was gonna say his left side doesn't work, but apparently neither side works.
The one that got attacked fucking definitely died already.
Yeah,
Really sure.
yeah. And he was pretty much withered after that. I mean, that guy could. He couldn't even wave to the
He
crowd.
never performed again, I don't think, because
It bit his aorta.
Yeah,
He
it bit,
almost bled to death.
yeah, yeah.
He lost brain tissue from lack of nourishment
Yeah,
for
and
several minutes.
Yeah,
What do they say? There's that old saying: "Play with the tigers, you might
you might get your aorta bit
get your aorta bit." Yeah,
and lose brain tissue due to oxygen.
yeah.
It's a
They
very
made a movie.
It's a very specific saying. I don't know if you've heard it before.
Yeah, they don't prescribe tigers for a reason.
It's an old Austrian proverb from their motherland.
And for our next trick, whew, Roy's gone.
Poof. Next, coming from Vanilla Poo. This has to do with where we were trying to figure out whether or not shitting on the airplane versus the person who mistook their hand lotion for pepper spray on the airplane was worse. Blickety Blow writes, had someone throw up the first time I took the SAT. They left us for 3 sections to sit there. Had to be up there with the pudding plane. So SAT, some kid gets so nervous, he's like, oh, haven't studied. Blah! And 3 sections later, which sections an hour, right?
I don't know. I never took them.
I think you know the result was how many sections was there? Only 3.
Okay, so hold on. What's he choose? Is he choosing?
He didn't choose. All he's saying is that, like, hey, I was left in a very uncomfortable situation where a kid barfed, and they let us fucking continue to take the SATs while this kid's just, his barf is chilling on the side of the desk.
What a fucking racket, man! Like just,
SATs.
The whole thing. The whole thing. Alan fucking. I think Alan a few months ago, Alan articulated the SAT racket to a T. I think tuition fees are elevating like the racket the college is to a T, like just globally at this point. Fucking all of it. Structured education is just fucking bullshit anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you don't even got to look that far back. America, largely built by a couple corporations, and a lot of those corporations did a lot to be like, you know what? We should keep the population pretty dumb so they can work for us. That'd be cool. You know what we should do? We should do school. It's like 8 to 5. You know what we should do? Work 8 to 5.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. So,
well, I think in its infancy, there was a lot to be said about it. I mean, I remember when we were doing a morning show once, and we were talking about the moon landing. And it's like, I heard that there was a time where a bunch of people sat in a room with a big old chunk of slate and some chalk and figured out how to put people on that fucking crater-filled fucking landmass up there. That's wild, man. And now it's like we need an interactive whiteboard or the kids aren't going to learn. Like, fuck off.
putting the money in the wrong place.
Lastly, we got a few comments coming from, actually it was the entire Bigfoot's back again, which was last week's episode. Pac Main, Pacman Main, Main writes, giant ape ? Wow, no filter on this guy. I think we know where this is going. AC Aces writes, long-time listener, first-time commenter. I'm not sure how much more I'll be listening. I'm not sure how much more I'll be listening after Murr's Brando impersonation. After that comment, he definitely is a lot more whole than class.
I don't know.
I apologize.
A lot more whole than class.
I was channeling Marlon Brando. I mean, it's October. The spirit behooved me. I mean, you got to remember that Marlon Brando said some bad things. Arrow underscore
Smythe 122 writes, I wouldn't put myself in the quote woke as fuck crowd, but I certainly can point out when someone's crossed the line. The Richard Pryor comment went way too far. I'm far too lazy to be a part of counterculture, but my guess is someone from the quote woke as fuck crowd will see this and take action. You guys signed your death warrant. Good luck getting famous.
Well, we haven't made it yet, so.
Yeah.
But damn it, Murr.
I know.
God damn it.
I do feel guilty. I didn't mean it. I didn't. And by the fucking way, should I even make a serious comment?
This is probably the wrong tactic.
We got 2 more. Don't worry.
Okay.
Great Courage 1612 writes, leave it up to the white guy in 2023 to make racist jokes.
Fair.
Like what was heard at a timestamp at 57:05. I tell you what, I tell you that you ought to be ashamed of yourself, but that would be pointless. White privilege at its best. I'll be sure to flag this video ASAP.
Damn, did we get flagged?
I didn't see it. I don't know. And then finally, M_Garks.
Bro.
1982 writes, "Hey Chief, how about you go out in your brown shorts, boots, and high socks and focus on being that white? You achieve it well without the racist comments."
Jesus Christ. Bro, you got, did you make us famous by accident?
I mean,
I
if
thought,
you were,
I thought it was going to be me first, actually, just because I say outlandish shit.
well, that's okay. And look, I apologized. I know it came like a minute or two later, but I had kind of realized I said something accident. I swear to God, this is the problem with today, is that there is no. What are you looking? Don't raise your eyebrows at me, Wes. What?
I'm listening.
I just, yeah.
The problem with today is that you can't accidentally do anything. Like, and I will be contrite and serious for a second. I was talking about a great ape in Bigfoot. And then I happened to be talking about a man who happened to be black while impersonating Marlon Brando, which is making this the most ridiculous apology of all time. And
You seem sincere. I'll just tell you that.
I mean,
I feel fucking rotten. I felt rotten when it came out of my mouth, but it was like it was 2 seconds too late when the rotten feeling started to take over my body, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I really need to say I'm sorry, even though I didn't mean anything. It just was, but now it is." And thanks to Wes not editing it out of the fucking show, I now have to sit here and feel like this tragic, unfortunate, emotional response.
All right. Well, listen, breathe a sigh of relief because I made all those up. Don't worry
You're a
about
fucking
it.
smoking motherfucker. Fuck, man. I was fine with the first one, like, fuck that guy, and then the second one, and the third, and then the fourth fucking really buried the nail, like, deep into the heart of my soul.
You're good, man. Breathe a sigh of relief. Whew.
I
Phew.
think it was the elaborate one that was like, "I ain't woke, but goddamn, dog." You fucked
Actually-
up. I think that
actually-
was the one that I was
No,
like,
it
"Oh
was-
my God."
It was the third one that got me, and then the fourth one was just like reinforced it, and it hurt.
Well, see, M_Garks 1982 said I ought to throw in woke as fuck. So, thank you for the
Good.
thank you for that.
Okay.
All right, folks. Go ahead.
Well
What?
done, fucko.
All right. Listen, I will brief you on all things listener comments from here on out.
No, that was great. Thank you for making me feel like a fucking piece of pigeon shit. Well done.
All right. We are going to leave you folks with this week in Classholes history. This comes from just about 3 years ago, 2020. Murr posed the question, do I own my child? Is this a piece of property that I owned? The middle class holes discussed it. Listen to it. Let us know what you think. Yeah? Murr? Murr's too pissed to say anything.
Not too racist. That part's not too racist.
I'm actually sad.
All right, enjoy.
But I was talking to my kid today, and we were going back and forth, and I was like, "You keep it up, I'm gonna take you down to Chinatown." Now, keep in mind, he's 6, so he said, "No, you can't take me down to Chinatown." I said, "Oh yeah, why is that?" He said, "Because if you take me to Chinatown, I'll get lost, and I won't know how to find my way home, and I'll have to get a new owner." So my question to you guys is,
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Martin.
I was like, did we get
When his
sponsored by
wife retired,
USAA?
they buckled-
I wish. Can USAA protect my child from ownership? Do I own my child? That's the question I have for you guys. Do parents own their children? I tried to explain to him, like, well, actually, people don't own other people anymore, buddy. And then I was like, wait a second. Maybe I do own you. Let me get back to you. That's actually exactly what I said to him. And then I wanted to bring this to you guys. Do parents own their children?
I mean, no, I guess as a general answer, but in my personal opinion, yes. up to like a certain age. Like, how old's your kid? Like 5, right?
He just turned 6.
Yeah, so you own that. You own him.
Okay.
Right.
Wes?
So, yeah, is it, do I own my child like I own my home or my car or this shirt that I bought? No. Now,
It's not for resale.
but
Yeah.
is the child a dependent of yours and you get tax breaks? And do you fill that type of information out? Yes. This is the question I would pose to your child. Okay.
Okay.
You could say, all right, yes, I do not own you, which in case you have free reign to go anywhere else you want to go, they'll stay put. And I know because that happened to me once.
Okay. Well, that's just you're just using pure fear,
But
because that's not true.
Alan Fox wasn't nearly as diplomatic as I just was. So
Oh, sure. But see, then if I allow him to go somewhere else, I'm going to be the one that gets in trouble. That's the thing. He pays for nothing. I give him everything. I'm forced by law to shelter him, keep him safe, keep him fed, keep him in school. He offers nothing to the family dynamic besides existing. And when it comes to my home, the home doesn't pay me back for anything. I give everything I have to the home. The home does provide me shelter, though. It does give me something. Of course, my child gives me love and purpose and all of these fun little things. But as far as the ownership portion goes, I feel like all of my personal possessions actually provide more of a service to me directly than my own child right now. Now, maybe in the future, there will be a benefits package attached to his success. But currently, there's none of that. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilch. So I still pose the question, do I own that human being? I know we don't like to say the word own because it implies, a little sensitive subject that America's been a part of for 250 some years. But you get my point.
mm-hmm. Sure,
Yeah.
it's a dilemma, and it seems to be something that's really eking away at your insides based upon this conversation that you had, that you started, by the way. Okay, and there's a lot of different fronts on this. I don't know where the hell you get off telling your kid, if you had just watched some fucking Kurt Russell movie, tell him you're going to take him down to Chinatown. I don't know. Just stop saying that shit in general. Stop. I mean, it's like, come on. He doesn't even know what the hell that means. He doesn't know that the Chinatown could mean nothing to him. But
It's like, do you live in Cecil County still? There isn't even a Chinatown. Like, how would he understand that?
yeah,
that concept.
Does he think there's a Panda Express in some strip mall in Northeast or something like that? Perhaps. But second of all, I don't disagree. Do you own him? I think for all intensive purposes, I know, Alan. I said it sarcastically.
I know, but it still makes me shake my head.
It's a would-be boss wrote that in the email one time. I was like, "Ooh, man, boss." For all intents and purposes, yeah, I think you own your child, you and your wife.
Okay. And if I was to try to find a new owner for my child, it feels like Chinatown would probably be the place to take him.
I mean, it's just I feel like it's a lot like, you own him like a pet for right now. Like, you can't sell him per se. I mean, you could sell pets, but it's a dicey game. You can put him up for adoption. That's probably your best play. That's your best play. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can have him do stuff for you. Technically you could withhold stuff for said actions if you really wanted to be a dick. So yeah, I mean, ownership sans the ownership term sounds good to me. You just don't. Yeah, you just don't got to tell people that.
I think I have even more weight in the fact that I can't just give him away. Like, that implies even more ownership. Like, I have to create a whole string of paperwork just to get rid of him if I want to. Yeah. I got to go down to an agency. I've got to fill out like reasonings why I no longer want to have contact with this human. It just seems like so much effort, and you don't put that much effort through things that you just whimsically have in a symbiotic relationship with.
Yeah. Not only that, like social stigma, like. Like, people know you have this child, and you're just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I gave him up, got rid of him,
yeah,
couldn't fucking deal with it anymore." People are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
There's a lot of backstory that's involved with making that plausible to family, friends, and loved ones. In Christ, is Maria? I mean, is she gonna go along with this?
Yeah, how's
wifey gonna handle it?
Yeah, that's not gonna work out right now. No, I mean, okay, I think it goes without saying, or maybe it doesn't. I don't want to sell my child. Okay, I'm just saying. I do want to create, I think having nice hard lines around things is a good thing to start with. So do I own my child? I'd like to know that fact up front.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get a legal expert on to explain that. I know we have other legal questions we need answered. I just want to make sure that I lump that in. And for all the rest of the folks out there listening that maybe have young children, I don't know. I want to make them aware that they are in charge. And I feel like if you know you own something, you're in charge of that thing. And it kind of gives you more power at the end of the day. And everybody wants power over another human. That's just human nature.